What up, what up, what up? This is Mike the Philosopher here with another one. This one from KS, okay? And the question is, do women owe anything to their community? The saga continues, all right? Without further ado, I'm not going to hold you. Let's go in.
Hello?
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Uh, Back up a little bit. You're out frame.
Oh, okay, hold on 1 second. Uh, is that better?
Yeah. So what do women owe their community?
I mean,
First of all, how old are you?
I'm 25.
Okay. What state do you live in?
New York.
Okay. What do you owe your community?
When you say what do you mean
Hmm?
black community, or do you mean what do I owe a man?
I'm talking about the community right now.
It's amazing to me that a lot of women don't know what community is. And what when you say community, that's how you know they don't feel like they owe anything to their community. They don't even know what community is. That is mind-boggling to me. How can they feel like they owe anything to the community when they don't even know what a community is? I mean that's just what I'm getting. I don't know what y'all getting, but that's what I'm running into. Most of these women don't even know what community is. Mind-boggling to me. Anyway, let's go in.
So I think that I guess my duty to the community would be to give back in terms of like I feel like I'm a successful woman for my age. Well, I know I'm a successful woman at my age. I make good money, and live on my own. Went to school and all that good stuff. So I feel like my duty to the community would be to give back in a sense. If I'm volunteering, I'm mentoring somebody who's like younger than me, to put them, or to not to put them in a position, but put them on the road to be in the position that I'm in.
Do you do that?
Yes, I do.
So you owe your community volunteerism.
Yeah, I think that's what I owe my community.
That's it.
Um, I think so. Yeah.
Hmm. So your community that you grew up in provided you nothing but volunteerism.
I mean, in a sense, yeah. I mean, it's a village, right? To raise a kid.
No, well, no, well, if all you get is volunteerism, is that really a village?
I think so. Yeah.
Really?
Yes, I would like when you have your parents, and if I'm young and family friends volunteering to
First off, let me stop right there.
okay.
Were you raised with your mother and father?
I was raised with my stepfather, but my dad was a
Okay, but you said your family.
hmm
You don't owe a community. You don't owe your community a family.
Do
Mm.
I owe my community?
Yes, yes,
Um,
yes. Newsflash. Yes.
I don't necessarily think that I owe my community. I think that if it
The
I think
women don't even. The women today don't even realize that the first thing you owe your community is the building blocks of the community.
Mm.
Nuclear family.
I mean,
Ma'am, listen. I need you to listen. Listen. What you said you owe the community is what a man brings: money and activity.
that's not just what men bring. That's I think
Yes, no, okay. See, the problem is that you don't know, understand the difference.
See, men bring provision, ladies. You bring babies, ladies. Okay? There are levels to this. Priority number one for a man is protection and provision. Priority number one for a woman is babies and nurturing. You nurture your family, you nurture your man, you nurture your kids. Babies and nurturing. priority number 1 and 2. So when you're not doing the babies and you're not doing the nurturing, you are not, I don't want to say you're not being a woman. Let me find another way of saying this. You're not fulfilling your female role. I'll put it that way. If a man is not being a provider and a protector, he's not fulfilling his man role. If a woman is not doing the babies and the nurturing, she's not fulfilling her female role. So if you're doing something else other than those two, you're out of pocket. A lot of women don't feel that way. A lot of women feel like they would rather do the man role. I know I was born with these chesticles and these ovaries and, this estrogen, but I want to do the man job. I feel more comfortable doing the man job. So let me do that instead. All this popping out babies and nurturing stuff, that ain't me. The ladies in my family taught me to be a man. I got to be a man in this world. I got to do the man jobs. Now listen, ladies, I'm not saying don't have a job and have a career and all that other stuff. The problem is that's all you think you got to do is have a career and have a job. And you're quoted yourself as successful. Couldn't be further from the truth. You're not successful if you don't, I will say you're not successful if you don't have kids and you don't have nurturing. But some women can't have kids, and I'm excluding them. I know some women personally who can't have kids like that, and I don't want to say that they're not successful because that was beyond their control. They probably could have had them earlier, but they didn't, and they were so focused on career that they didn't have kids. So you're not, if you can have kids, you're not successful if you don't have kids and you don't have nurturing and you owe that to the community. You owe both of those to your family first and your community, to have those kids and be that nurturer for your family. You owe that to your community. Women have never been taught this. I don't know who to blame. I don't know if I should blame the current women in this era or the ones who taught them this. I'm going to blame the last 3 generations. How about that? Because this is a mess. The men obviously have been teaching the boys what they got to do. You got to provide and protect. Dude, that's what you got to do. Men are on program. They on the program with their stuff. Even the women know the men's job. Men definitely know their job. So the men have been doing a better job of handing down their duties. Women, you're slipping. You're slipping, and you're not aware of what you should be doing, and you're teaching your daughters to be men instead of women. Let's go in.
Women are supposed, men have buy a house, women make it a home. Black women have been convinced to give up the main superpower, your femininity.
Facts.
So now you're coming to talk about your success, and I let you talk about your success, and you framed your success in a masculine way by your education, your income, and your accomplishments.
Well, that's what I have in my life right now.
At 25, and that's the point.
Well, I mean, I don't think that that's necessarily a bad.
Oh, okay. So you think your community? So at 25, you think your community is better off today than it was 20 years ago?
It depends on in what way. In terms.
Okay. Do you think your community today is better off than it was 60 years ago?
Yes.
You think your community today is better off than it was in the
I haven't seen this before, but let me guess what she's going to say. It's better because women are making money and they have their own careers and they're more liberated than they ever been. That's why the community is better, because women can get a job and get a W-2 and get their own house. This whole thing is a sham. This whole thing is really designed so that home builders can build more homes, car makers can make more cars. Okay, inventory. If you have the black man and the black woman separated, that's double the inventory that can be sold. They want us separated. You know what, ladies? Get your own career. We could sell you a house separate from your man. Ladies, get your own jobs. We could sell you a separate car. You don't have to have one family car no more. We can sell 2 and 3 to each of you. This is all a hustle by capitalism. And a lot of people don't even realize it, not even men. This is a hustle. It pays for you to be separate because they have double the laundry detergent, laundry. They can sell you double the cars, the homes, they can sell you double of everything automatically, instead of having, everything in one household. Let's separate these people so we can double and triple our consumerism. This whole thing is about capitalism. And these women are buying it hook, line, and sinker. Let's go back in.
60s.
Yes.
In what ways?
In the ways where, just as black, we have more, and I use that term.
We have more what? We have more what?
More freedoms, and I use that term, but in terms of the resources that we have.
Such as?
Such as technology, such as.
That has nothing to do with your community, man.
But it does.
No, it does not. Technology is no. I said your community.
Right.
Technology of the
Everybody
day was
got technology.
Technology of the day was a library and a library card. We had technology. It was called microfiche and radio. We had technology.
Okay.
Do you live by yourself?
I do.
Do you have an alarm in your house?
I do not.
You have a doorman building?
No.
What kind of security do you have?
I don't have security.
Oh, okay. So there's no locks on your doors?
Yeah, those. I feel like every home has a lock.
No, but they didn't used to.
Okay.
Can you walk down the street at 3 o'clock in the morning and with the light and with the lights out and feel safe in a blackout?
I don't think so. No.
So you could back then.
I wouldn't. I personally wouldn't know that because I'm young.
Well, that's the point. So you can't say it's better off today because obviously you don't know what you're talking about. You're talking about from a technological standpoint, but even from a freedom standpoint, we actually had neighborhoods. What part of New York do you live in?
I don't live in the city. I'll say that. No.
What part of New York do you live in?
Long Island.
Long Island. So it's on the borough of Long Island. No, Long Island, not Staten Island. Long Island.
Yeah.
And 70 years ago, what was the black part of Long Island?
70 years ago, I can't say.
Because it wasn't.
Okay.
Yeah, but that was still Harlem.
Which is in a borough.
But before crack. See, y'all don't know what we used to have. Where'd you go to college?
SUNY Albany, upstate.
Still? Uh-huh.
SUNY Albany, which is
Right. So this is what we've effectively done. We've made modern women today become men. Don't even realize that the women made a neighborhood, a community, because you couldn't, your mama wasn't home, you go over to Miss Jenkins' house to get you something to eat. She got something for you. When's the last time your neighbor knocked on the door and said, what's your first name again? What's your name?
Destiny.
Destiny? Hey, Destiny, do you know all your neighbors in your building?
I don't know all of them. I know some of them.
Uh-huh. How long you been in that building?
2 years.
2 years? How many stories?
It's like a home, so it's I live in an actual neighborhood, not a building.
Uh-huh. So you don't know everybody in this home?
I know everybody in the home. I know, neighbors, two doors to the left, right.
Two doors to the left and right, but you don't know your block?
No.
Okay. See, you were down on your block back then. So when Roberta come down, hey, Destiny, come on, some flour, some sugar. Mm-hmm. Matter of fact, she would have probably just walked in your door because the screen would have been open.
Okay. I believe that.
Can you do that now? Can you go ask your neighbor for anything? 3 doors down?
So, yeah, the ones that I...
No. 3 doors down? You only know them 2 doors down. 3 doors down.
I mean, if you count indoors...
So no, you can't, because they don't know you, and you don't know them. See, you don't have a community. You have an apartment.
Okay.
You basically live in a prison. See, you think you're free, young lady. You think you're free. But see, when you were free is when you could walk down the street and not have to worry about being touched. Whether it was a blackout, brownout, whether you had lights or not, because they knew Destiny was so-and-so's kid. She could walk from one street to the other, go several blocks over. Kids could actually get on the bike and ride down the street, and nobody would have to touch them. They need dogs, pistols, sticks. They were safe. Okay. You could actually eat food, drink somebody's house. You could even spend the night at your friend's house. Did you have lots of sleepovers when you were a kid? Nope.
Friends that my parents knew.
Exactly. So now the neighborhood, what I just described, sounds like a neighborhood in a community. Okay. Where kids is outside playing. When Destiny get outside and go play, and you had to go outside and play with the kids who came in from the summer visiting their cousins, such and so forth, and you played with the neighborhood kids. Did you play with the neighborhood kids in your neighborhood?
When I was younger.
What age did that stop?
Probably playing like high school. Probably.
High school. You stopped playing in high school.
Yeah.
Are you still friends with people you grew up with?
Some, yes.
Okay. So, 60 plus years ago, we had neighborhoods. We had communities.
Okay.
You don't have that now. You got an apartment. And effectively, if I just put a glass dome, 2 doors down, 2 houses this way, 2 houses that way, and you didn't know, you'd be in prison. Because you don't use anything past that. And you call that freedom. Ain't that a bitch?
I mean, I feel like we took a turn.
No, we didn't take a turn. It's called checking. You don't understand that you don't have a community. That's why you don't feel like you owe anything, because you're not attached to anything but you. It's what you want.
No, I don't think I'm me. I'm attached.
Who do you volunteer for in this? Who do you volunteer for in your neighborhood? Since you don't know nobody 2 doors this way and 2 doors that way. Who do you volunteer for?
I usually do a lot of volunteer through my job.
But your job ain't your community.
Well, they are a pathway to my.
No. Your job is it required or is it voluntary?
Okay,
Is it required or is it voluntary?
Is a job required for voluntary?
No. The work you do, the volunteer work you do. You say you do it through your job, right?
Yeah, most
is
of the time.
Is it required that you do it, or is it voluntary?
It's voluntary. You're not.
Okay. See, I thought you actually meant that you, on your own compunction, went out and did this out of the goodness of your heart. There's a difference. I'm not discounting what you're doing. Okay. I'm just saying it's different. See, when Coach Johnson used to teach the Little League, he was actually the head football coach, but then he taught the Little League because he cared about the boys in the neighborhood. He didn't get paid to do that, and his job didn't set it up. He did that in addition to.
Okay.
So you get credit for volunteering through your company. They know about it though, right?
I mean, so, yeah. The what?
So there's a professional benefit to doing that. See,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So what I'm just saying that it's not as selfless as it used
But
to be.
not as selfish just because it
I
does.
said it's not as selfless
But
as the other situation.
I was saying, like, how is it less selfish? Because
How is it less selfless? How
I,
is it less selfless? Because you don't know anybody in your community. You're volunteering through your job, and your job has these programs set up, and they basically you're going to work doing volunteer work. You're not doing something to help the neighborhood, your community you grew up in, something you chose to do with your own skills.
but
Your
I do
that's
that.
how.
I do that too.
Yeah, I don't think that she would even be doing it if it wasn't for her job. Like, why don't you just volunteer without your job? What is the work that you're doing voluntarily outside of your job? You're probably doing it to look good at your job. You know, volunteer work can be, uh, like I said, it can be voluntary, or charity work can be voluntary. But would you do it if your job wasn't looking at you? Would you do it if nobody is watching? Will you do it then? You know, um, what are the volunteer work that you're doing outside of your job? Some people only do it just to kind of get brownie points with the job. And some jobs it's more of a forced voluntary situation. Okay, they not they can't make you, but they're kind of saying, look, you need to do this. I'm sure, like, let me give you an example, like the NBA, right? The NBA, they make a wish and do these charities and stuff. It's probably not something that is mandatory, but they watching. The NBA is watching. The community is watching, and to be in good standing with the community, you need to be giving back. These guys make a whole lot of money. So the NBA is like, look, we got to get involved with some charity. Okay. We got to give back to the community. Now, we expect all of y'all to give back in some kind of way. We can't force you, but we expect it. Okay. Now, there's some who go above and beyond, become, get the Walter Payton Award, or, get Bill Russell, I believe, is it Bill Russell Award or something like that for the NBA, or of being, stepping out and being a very charitable player, but my whole thing is still this young lady. I don't think she means any harm. I just think that she was not taught community. She does what she's told. And she was told by older women, go for your career. She was told by, and sometimes, look, even men can tell their daughters this, like, go on out there, baby, and get you a career. Don't worry about these dudes out here. Sometimes men can be just as bad. And so it's not just the mothers. It's both parties doing it, but mainly the women that's doing it. And they're teaching their girls to be men. And I mean, that's just how I see it. She's lost. She don't look, she's living in an apartment by herself, no security. Anything can happen to this chick, to be honest. And she ain't got no man, she ain't got no other kind of security. Even if she got a weapon or something, it ain't always readily available when you need it. You know what I mean? So I don't think she got the worst intentions. She just don't know. But let me know what y'all think. Do women owe anything to the community? What do you think? And another question is, are they being taught what they owe to the community, if at all? Put it in the comments. I would love to see what y'all have to say about this. Hit the like, share, and subscribe. I will catch you in another one. Peace.